Alright, part 2 of chapter 6, Desperate Times. So if you shoot right at the end of the planks in the middle, you can break all three of them with like one bullet. And then when you get here, you want to wait until this guy actually gets to the window to pull him out. Sometimes you can get lucky and the other guys are always starting to walk into this place, and you can usually pull two of them out. But for some reason this time, despite pulling the guy out, the other guys weren't coming into this room, so they're just chilling out in the hallway of this building. Like, I kind of like go over there to see them. They're just chilling there, not like progressing. I don't know if it was just randomly this time I got lucky where they just weren't moving. So I decided to have a little fun and decided to use this propane tank. And basically just blew up all three of them with one propane tank. So yeah, if you don't have that happen, like I said, just stay at the window. Usually two of the guys will come towards the window, especially if one of the guys sees you pull the other guy out. He'll actually like start to investigate, and you can just pull him out the window, and then you usually have enough time to get to that like washing machine or whatever it is that's in the room to use as cover so you can blind fire better. And so you can usually kill that guy at the propane tank, and I kind of got lucky that the guy wasn't shooting as he was coming up the stairs. But usually he doesn't actually come into this area like he did. He usually is still outside where the other guy was, but like I said, I kind of got lucky and he wasn't shooting as he was coming up the stairs. And this part is kind of weird because I don't know if that first guy is just too far away from the propane tank that it didn't affect him at all in the explosion, or if it's one of those things where he was still in his like animation of falling down, so the explosion just didn't affect him. I'm not really sure, but I suppose the other thing you can do is just like chuck a grenade over there and then like try and like roll away from them as you do it, just to avoid getting shot. I'm not really sure. And the other guy was still high up, so the explosion just had no impact on him whatsoever. So but once you free Chloe, you can stare at her ass as she goes up the ladder. There's usually, I think he usually has like a line. I think if you look at her sooner, or she makes a comment, but for some reason I didn't get it to trigger this time. As I decided not to play Marco Polo in the pool like I normally do. Those are like two of the rewards in the game to unlock different characters, or guns, or costumes, or I forget what exactly the rewards are. I kind of liked the rewards in the second game because it was actually like money that you spent like for the items. So like currently in Uncharted 2 on the PS3 version, I have like $1.2 million from like all the rewards I've unlocked. For this part, jumping between these two platforms can be kind of finicky, because when you jump onto that first platform, you tend to roll, and you can sometimes initiate the jump to get to the second one and have it fall. But I've had times where I've rolled, and instead of jumping, he just kind of hangs on that on that walkway, and I end up getting killed. And the other thing is that when you go into cover here for the checkpoint, sometimes when there's like a propane tank to the left of you, there's times where you won't even be fully like loaded into the, like, after the checkpoint, like the screen is still like slightly black from like not loading in, and the helicopter fire is like blowing up the propane tank that's by you. And I've actually died before I've loaded fully from the checkpoint on that, so it's kind of annoying. And then you kind of want to be careful here, because unfortunately that explosion will sometimes kill one of the guys, but most of the time it won't kill any of them. I have like 4 grenades, so I probably could have chucked one at them as soon as I went into cover, just to guarantee they would all be dead. And then you want to be careful with that guy. You want to be aiming as you go in there, just because if you go into combat with him, the guys in the elevator will sometimes have enough time to shoot and kill you. And so at this point, like I said in the previous video, because I didn't have any ammo in the AK, I should have picked up the shotgun. So when I picked up that guy's AK, it would have given me like 40 or 50 ammo. But I ended up going with the shotgun. It worked out pretty well. And then this is another one of the checkpoints that on crushing, not really too bad, can be kind of annoying, but on brutal, it's another point where I would get killed before fully loading in from the checkpoint. And once you want to be over on this side so that you can hopefully blind fire and kill those 2 guys as they load in. You want to try and kill that 3rd guy, but as you saw there, the building was so hard to like aim that he wasn't really doing anything to me. And I was able to initiate the jump into the building a lot sooner than I think you should be able to, because it seems like it's triggered by hitting the glass or just being close to the building as you jump. So you can usually make that jump pretty soon. And so coming into this area, you have this wave of guys. There's a bunch of propane tanks over there, so if you can get lucky in your grenade throws, you can usually get like a double explosion with the propane tank. Or if you're very lucky, they're getting ready to throw a grenade and you can kill all of them. So when you cross over here, you want to grab the grenade launcher, because if you're quick enough, you can usually kill all 4 of these guys with like 2 grenades. I ended up getting very unlucky and had to use almost all of them. So, and what I'm going to do here, it's probably something I shouldn't have done for this guy, but at the same time, it's really not too difficult. I'm gonna kind of sequence break this level by not having to fight the helicopter. So if you climb up onto here and you aim towards here, you can make a jump and land over here and completely skip the helicopter fight. That jump isn't too difficult. When the demo came out, for the collection, this was the part of the demo. My very first time attempting these jumps, I hit them with no problem. When I went to the PS3 version, it took me about 5 times to get the jumps. And for this run, it took me 3 attempts to get the jumps. The harder one of the two is the second one, just because sometimes you hit the window frame of the building. The only real drawback is it puts you back at the previous rooftop with the 4 guys that come down. That the one guy has the rocket launch or the grenade launcher. Like I said, I didn't want to do the helicopter battle on Brutal, even though I'm sure it probably isn't that difficult. It's more the guys that spawn in halfway through it that I didn't want to deal with. But at the same time, you know, like I said, the jumps really aren't that difficult. It's just the second one can give you a little bit of problem.